Hi, it's Wasabi. Welcome back to the channel. Today's battle's on the Overlord map, otherwise known as the Normandy or D-Day map, and we've got Minigin from Big Daddy Clan. It's in the Manticore, the Tier 10 British light tank. He's in an all Tier 10 battle. So there's 2 light tanks per side, both sides have got an EBR and a Manticore. So the Manticore is top of the British light tank line, well maligned line for some of the light tanks in the earlier part. The Manticore is being used in clan wars and advances, a bit of a specialised role compared to the EBR, which is pretty common, but the spotting and camo ratings are pretty high, so when you need sort of close contact and more passive spotting, the Manticore is a much better option than the EBR. Having said that, this is a fairly open map, so the EBRs could dominate if they decide to add an EBR or 2 EBRs versus Manticores. It probably wouldn't make a huge amount of difference, but anyway, we'll see how this match pans out. Certainly plenty of bushes that Manticores can hide in, and sort of not really the role of an EBR to be a passive spotter most of the time. So just sitting on this corner here, hoping that tanks will pop up and get over the berm, but does also rely on the tanks behind you. Obviously, as a light tank, you need tanks behind you to be able to shoot at the spotted targets. So if there's no one up in a shooting position, it's a bit hard to get much out of it. Anyway, he's got good all-round vision here. Just checking around to see what other targets he might be spotting. He's picked up a small amount of assist damage so far, but we're only in the second minute of the game. But at least the tanks that are popping up, like the Leopard 1, do know that in fact there's the enemy EBR, or I should say there was the enemy EBR. He's just been taken out by the Death Star on Minigin's side. And in fact, they've lost an E4 in really rapid fashion too. So yeah, pretty even Steven so far, but this is again early days in the game. And the enemy's pushing up in a fairly broad line here. Most of them, doesn't seem like anyone's on the beach. Well, Poppy's calling out to get some intelligence about the beach, but yeah, it remains to be seen. And it looks like we just missed the EBR on Minigin's side getting wasted as well, so both EBRs out of the game in the fairly early stages. So the enemy's been quite careful not to push up too quickly, and there you go, they've lost a crane wagon going down to their own crane wagon. That was down on the top of the cliff, so at least that's where I remember the other crane wagon being. But you can see the pattern pushing up there a bit too far and then copping it in the face, so it's been brought down to relatively one-shottable. But unfortunately, Minigin not getting the spotting damage for that. He was behind a bit of territory there. So he changes his angle here, comes up to the bush, and straight away gets spotted by the enemy Manticore. So it's what we were suggesting about the spotting capability of the Manticore. It's pretty strong as well as its camo, but using Commander's vision system does render the bushes less effective. So you hope to get into the bushes early, and that's what that other Manticore did. But he got spotted once he fired, but he knew that was going to happen, so he managed to run away. So Minigin knocking the tree down there and straight away exiting the position. That's really good thinking. He's taken quite a few hits already, so he doesn't want to waste too much more in terms of hit points. A side shot there on the Object 140, but unfortunately that bound stove must have not quite aimed in sufficiently. So one of the other aspects of the Manticore is really just the limited ammunition it carries, so you shouldn't expect too often to get really high damage outputs, but That doesn't mean you can't use your gun, and this is what Minigin intends to do if you can, is to take advantage, particularly flanking shots on these enemy that are pushing up. So it snaps towards the object 140 there and doesn't connect. But it did light him up too, so he's a bit of a risk, but see the Leopard 1 at the back there. And he's just got more shots on the object 140, so manages successfully to get his first damaging shot in. He's doing all the work by himself here, so doesn't really have anyone to help him. Object 140 thinking, oh, maybe I've made a mistake getting into the bowl here. Again, same sort of issue, you can light tanks up, but to have no one to shoot at those targets on your behalf means you've got to do the shooting, and for a medium tank like the 140, it's only got 6 degrees of gun depression. So 7, I think, is one more than the Object 907, but still you've really got to get on top of the berm to be able to shoot down. There's no real comfortable position to use the gun depression, but luckily it bounces the incoming round from the Object 140 and puts a nice punishing shot in. Takes him down to almost one-shotable. The Object 140 would know he's there. He manages to get the shot in just before the object fires. So that's useful, getting a kill on a fairly tough medium tank. Not necessarily a well played one. So he pops up in the bush here. Can he light anyone further? No, but he's not getting lit himself. So again, just that acid test, roll into the bush and roll straight back out again. It's good practice for a light tank driver. And he's just going to hammer this bush for a little while. No, he's not going to hammer that bush for a little while. Decides to make a move, but gets tagged straight away by the Leopard 1. So that's a bit unfortunate. It's taken him down to 87 hit points. So pretty much sneeze on him and he'll be wasted. But while he's got those 87 hit points, he's going to make everyone pay for not getting all of them. So he pops up here and straight away spots the AMX M4 and the 2 110E4s. So now starting to accumulate some spotting damage. And they've even spotted the arty at the back of the map there. So you can see the view range circle of the Manticore is halfway through the map and you can see all the way to the end, so quite excellent vision there. And that M4 is constantly spotted, but again just needs people to be able to shoot at it. So the TDs are moving up. And he doesn't want to take a shot. No, he does take a shot, but again straight away backs off, thinking, alright, that's not a real threat pointing at me, so let's take this shot while we can. Just deciding which spot he's going to occupy coming up. Well, he knew the M4 was pushing up a little bit, which is pretty brave of the M4, given that he hasn't got a lot of hit points himself. But clearly he's hoping to get some artillery support. It's sort of one of the frustrating parts of this particular map is just all these slopes that if you don't have good gun depression you can't really maximise your benefit from it. The Leopard 1 being one of the exceptions there. So Leopard 1 would know he's being spotted, he would know that Manticore is around somewhere, but he won't know exactly where, so he's pretty safe in this bush, unlikely to get any blind fire. And he's just crept up there, but Minigin just holding his shots here, just keeping them lit, hoping that someone will shoot them. I think that Fock B was trying to get in a position to shoot across there, but being frustrated by the AMX M4. But finally they get rid of the AMX. Minigin gets the kill on the Leopard 1, so that's nice revenge there. So it does get lit, but again, he's moved straight away, so pretty safe. The E4's likely to come after him. Yes, he is trying to come after him, but he just doesn't have the gun depression to fire. He fires into the dirt, finally getting into position, and he cops a big whacking. So Minigin finally picking up more assisted damage there. And that E4 is in a one-shottable position, so who's going to execute the coup de grace? Well, no, he got executed on Minigin there. He just dodged the full force of that arty shell. That's taken him down to 41 hit points, so yeah, not your most desirable position, but he then outspots the E4, and that's taken the enemy down to having a negative difference now. So they've got one gun in advance, and he's spotting more tanks here. The Optic 261 at the back on really low hit points, and there's the Guerrilla 15. Snaps towards him, and armor not hit, so unfortunately that just went into the tracks. And they're really starting to make inroads now on the enemy side. So you just reach that tipping point in the game where everything just starts to fall in your place, and that's the point that we just reached before, particularly when that E4 basically lost all his hit points. One shot coming in there, most likely from the Manticore. And he's on almost full hit points. So the enemy's still got a Manticore equivalent to Minigin. Minigin is almost dead, and that other Manticore is pretty much full hit points. But obviously not being able to take advantage of his position. The enemy giving up most of the map area. So they've been pushed back into the bottom third of the map, and this now gives Minigin some opportunities here. So he knows the Manticore's on the east side of the map. There's an FV4005 down there somewhere. Hasn't been spotted for a little while. And the Guerrilla 15, which he did spot. And there's a JPZ E100. Oh, in fact, there's the FB. So he gets spotted as soon as Minigin exits the bush and starts to collect some damage, and in fact gets completely taken out. So straight away picks up all the hit points from that FV4005, and now gives him a bit more confidence to push down along this side. Looks like the E4 has done the manly thing and gone down to the beach just to check that it's all safe. That's fine. So Minigin comes up to the bush here, just besides the cap where the Guerrilla 15 was last seen. Is he still there? Yes, he is. Look how close he is. Like, he's literally got his proximity spotting circle on the edge of the Guerrilla 15's list. He had HE loaded there in case no one shot the Guerrilla, but he's been taken out, and that gives another boost to Minigin's assisted damage total. And now the crown bang indicating where he saw a tree fall down. And he spotted the JPZ E100. So he's already taken a big hit. Now he switches to APCR rounds himself, just in case he can get any more damage out of this. It's the side of the JPZ. Yes, he manages to get a nice shot in there, and doesn't get spotted as a result. Looks like the E4 firing and he missed, but the Manticore gets taken out by the Leopard, and now it's just the JPZ E100 left. And Minigin just trying to take one more shot. He's got to light him up again. Gets into the bush. He can take this shot successfully. Goes for the lower front plate. No, doesn't even hit, so I don't know where that one went. Maybe into the dirt, but luckily the JPZ gets taken out by the Leopard 1, and that is the end of the game. Let's go and have a look at the details. Alrighty, so 2.5k of his own damage and 2 kills, and 7.5k of assisted damage. So it gives him just over 10k of combined, which is a great result. He picked up the patrol duty medal for spotting tanks that were then damaged by his team, and he got a first class mastery badge. So that's how he compared to the team. So 1175 base experience. So typically in the tier 10 you would think that would get you a ace tanker, but the mastery badge level for the Manticore on the Azure server is about 1243, so it's a little bit off there, but he wasn't really that far away. Probably another kill or a little bit more damage of his own, and he would have gotten to the ace tanker level, so definitely room for improvement there. Not that I think he needs it. Supported there by the Kranwagen, and the 114 SP2 picked up nearly 6k, and a few other tanks that got over 2k, including one of the Leopards that got 3. So great support there from his team. And on the enemy side, the other Manticore came up with the top experience as well, getting almost the same amount of damage that Minigin did, but really getting compromised by his team's performance. Although the Gorilla 15 ended up doing 4k, Leopard 1 3k, so nearly 3.5. So, and the Jagdpanzer E100 doing 3k. So it was a pretty close game right through, and it was really just that tipping point that got reached in the middle of the game, and the ability of the attacking team to take advantage of it that made the difference. So let's see, from his own perspective, fired 12 shots, 9 hits and 7 penetrations. That gave him his damage total. He had some mission payouts giving him an additional 65k, and that was handy because he only made 44k out of it. So he spent some money on premium consumables and on his ammunition. He was firing predominantly APCR, the premium version. So great game there from Minigin. Thank you very much for the content. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. We'll have more great content to follow, and thanks very much for watching.